Despite what you may have heard growing up, such as money doesn't grow on trees, if he wanted to, he would, you have to work hard to succeed, these are merely limitations and circumstances that you place on yourself. Your reality is a reflection of your awareness, of what you are aware of being true. Therefore, considering you can switch your awareness at any given time, that means you can also overcome and switch these circumstances and limitations at any given time. The best way to remove any kind of circumstance or limitation is to fully remove your awareness from it. By removing your awareness from a limitation or circumstance, you are starving it of your mental energy, therefore stopping it from being able to create. But the problem with this that many people experience is they struggle to just remove their awareness from it. No matter how hard they try, they find their thoughts going back to that place. Their ego kicks up and they're like, oh, well, they've done this or she did this or whatever. And they find themselves going back to it, and therefore this circumstance is constantly recreating. Now, over my time on YouTube, I've spoken about having something called an anchoring technique, something that anchors your attention away from these circumstances so that you can remove your awareness from them in the moment and then place that energy on something more positive. Because in order to remove a limitation, we need to remove our awareness from it. But in order to create what we want, we need to reside within the space of that solution already being created. So the anchoring techniques that I've spoken about, such as breath work, are ways to remove your awareness from that limitation to then be able to reside within the end result. Now, one thing that I like doing quite regularly is going back over old books and lecturers that I've read before or listened to before, such as Florence Scovel, Neville Goddard, Joseph Murphy, and people like that. Now, I was going through my Neville Goddard due to a video that I was doing for the members, and I came across a segment that I'd completely forgotten about. And I think it would be really impactful for those of you who are struggling to remove your awareness from the limitations to be able to then place your focus on what you desire to be true. So I'm going to be reading a small segment from this book and then explaining essentially how it works, why it works, if you guys are confused by the segment itself, and how you can make use of it into your own life. So let's just get into it really. So it starts off with, this story is taking place in the world today right within you, the reader. For you have within you all the elements necessary to go fishing, but until you find that Jesus Christ, and then in brackets, your awareness, is Lord, you will fish as did these disciples in the night of human darkness. That is essentially saying that the more you try to put in effort and work without having your awareness, your consciousness, match that effort and work, you will essentially not really be particularly fruitful. That is, you will fish for things, thinking things to be real, and will fish with the human bait, which is struggle and effort, trying to make contact with this one and that one, trying to coerce this being or the other being, and all such effort will be in vain. But when you discover your awareness of being to be Jesus Christ, you will let him direct your fishing. So once you discover that your awareness is God, you will allow your consciousness to direct the outcomes in your reality, essentially. Where were they? And you will fish in the consciousness for things that you desire. For your desire will be the fish that you will catch. Because your consciousness is the only living reality, you will fish in deep waters of consciousness. If you would catch that which is beyond your present capacity, you must launch out into deeper waters, for within your present consciousness, such fish or desires cannot swim. So essentially saying, if you wish to change the circumstances at hand, if you wish to overcome your limitations, you must change what it is that you're focusing on, change the pool of water that you're fishing in to a much deeper and better pool of water. So change where your focus and awareness is going, away from the limitations at hand, the problem, and instead focus on the actualization of the solution. Take your awareness away from the problem and place it on the actual solution being at play currently, which is what I talk about with starving the energy of the situation that you don't like and then focusing on your desired outcome. Let me find where I was. To launch out into deeper waters, you leave behind you all that is now your present problem or limitation by taking your attention away from it. Turn your back completely upon every problem and limitation that you now possess. Obviously, like I just explained. Dwell upon just being by saying, I am to yourself. Continue to declare to yourself that you just are. So that's the anchoring technique that I wanted to talk about. And there's a little bit more that I want to read, but I just want to kind of gloss over that quite quickly. So I am. All throughout Neville Goddard's books and scripture, it essentially states that I am is consciousness. I am the Lord, I am consciousness, I am God, I am the creative power. I'm trying to simplify these things for those of you that maybe don't necessarily understand the terminology utilized. But essentially, by going back to a place of I am, you are going back to a place of pure awareness. Because right now, I am Matthew. But Matthew is the being that I am. If I was to close my eyes and go into awareness, yes, I could still say that I am Matthew, but that's by being aware that I am Matthew. But in consciousness, in imagination, in awareness, when you separate yourself from this 3D reality and basically deny your senses, consciousness is limitless. Therefore, I am, and then you choose what follows that statement. So by repeating to yourself, I am, I am, I am, you are essentially taking yourself back to a factory reset where you are simply I am. You just I am, and then you can choose what comes after that. I am in a loving relationship. I am rich. I am wealthy. I am abundant. I am whatever it is that you desire to be true, whatever the solution is. So utilizing the I am statement and just simply repeating it over and over and over again. Close your eyes if you'd like to. For me personally, I found closing my eyes helped me shut off everything else. But by simply just closing your eyes and repeating, I am, I am, I am, I am, and repeating that statement and focusing on it, you are removing your awareness from the present limitations. You are removing your awareness away from whatever it is, whether it's poverty, whether it's being broken up with. Oh, my light died again. They have such bad battery. No matter what it is, you are removing your awareness from it entirely by focusing on that I am statement. And then when focusing on that I am statement, you are putting yourself back into your creative power. And with some consistency in doing this, 10, 20, 30 seconds, a minute, a couple of minutes, obviously it will depend on you doing it, you will find yourself feeling that power again. You'll find yourself going back to the creative power to then create whatever statement comes after that I am, which is the solution of whatever that limitation is. Therefore, removing your awareness from the negative outcome, the limitation, the circumstance, the problem, and placing your awareness on the actualization of the solution. Therefore, starving the problem or circumstance or limitation of any kind of energy and putting that energy on what you desire to be true. But let me finish off reading. So I'll repeat it. Dwell upon just being by saying, I am, I am, I am to yourself. Continue to declare to yourself that you just are. Do not condition this declaration. Just continue to feel yourself to be. And without warning, you'll find yourself slipping the anchor that tied you to the shallows of your problem and moving out into the deep. This is usually accompanied with the feeling of expansion. You'll feel yourself expand as though you are actually growing. Don't be afraid, for courage is necessary. You are not going to die to anything by your former limitations, but they are going to die as you move away from them. For they live only in consciousness. In this deep or expanded consciousness, you will find yourself to be a power that you had never dreamt of before. So what that is essentially saying is, by choosing to be courageous in removing your awareness from those limitations, using this anchoring technique, you are allowing them to fall away. You will not die to the circumstances. And what that essentially means, from my understanding of it, is by removing your awareness from it, it's not going to all of a sudden just hit you out of nowhere and that's it, game over, because you took your attention away from it. But in fact, it will be the opposite way. By removing your awareness from it, it will die to you. You won't be blindsided by this limitation or this circumstance by removing your awareness from it, but by removing your awareness from it, you are starving it, which means it will die to you, allowing you to then feed a new desired outcome. Like I say in all my videos, and like 99% of coaches out there say, where your focus goes, energy flows. So if you're focusing on this limitation, the fact they haven't messaged you, the fact that that job didn't hire you, the fact that money's not coming to you, and things like that, then of course those things are going to stick around. And of course you're going to experience more of them. So have the courage to let those thoughts go and instead place your focus on something more desired. If you struggle to just let those thoughts go, your ego is too sort of flared up, the fear is too strong, the anxiety is too strong, then put yourself back in that position of power by repeating, I am, over and over and over again until you feel yourself expand, until you feel yourself become that power within, until you feel yourself become the king, queen, god, or goddess of your reality. And then once you're in that space, then you can follow that I am with whatever the solution is. So if it is each time you check your phone, you don't see a text and that makes you feel defeated, catch it. I am. Put yourself to a better position. Try to feel it. Try to really feel the words and feel the power within you because you have it there. And then once you get to that expanded space, then it's I am in loving contact with a specific person. I am receiving loving messages from a specific person. I am constantly talking to a specific person through text or phone call. If it's jobs, sorry, we're not going to hire you. You did a great interview, but you're just not qualified enough. I am. Feel that power, and then I am being hired by the company of my dreams. I am working the job of my dreams. I am more than good enough to have the job of my dreams, and things like that. You remove your awareness from the problem and instead place it on the solution. One final thing that I wanted to talk about, because it doesn't really reference the I am segment, but it does reference the limitations. And I think a lot of people do this kind of thing, and I think it could be a bit of a wake-up call for you. So I'm just going to read another quick sort of segment of it and then explain it. But thus man distorts the gifts of God through his lack of faith. Problems are mountains spoken of that can be removed if one has but faith of a grain of a mustard seed. Men approach their problems as the old lady who, on attending service, heard the priest say, if you had but the faith of a grain of mustard seed, you would say unto yonder mountain, be thou removed, and it shall be removed, and nothing is impossible to you. Essentially saying, if you have the faith to claim the solution will happen. That night, as she said her prayers, she quoted this part of the scriptures and retired to bed in what she thought was faith. On arising in the morning, she rushed to the window and exclaimed, I knew that old mountain would still be there. For this is how man approaches his problems. He knows they are still going to confront him, and because life is no respecter of persons and destroys nothing, it continues to keep alive that which he is conscious of being. So many people do that, and it's unbelievable that people still do. But they'll check their phone and go, I knew there was going to be no message. Or, oh, of course there's no message. Or, like, they'll go, oh, I was getting ready to go out, and I just knew that I would see him with the specific person, or I'd see her with the specific person, with the third party and such things. So many people will do this. They will claim the good things through the affirmations and such, but then when they go back to living this 3D reality, they'll be like, oh, I knew it wasn't going to work, or I knew I was going to see that, or of course I'm going to go out and see them there, or of course I'm going to check my phone and there's not going to be a message there. This is placing your awareness, your consciousness on these limitations. So of course, given that awareness is the creative power, your consciousness, what goes on up here in your imagination, that is the creative power, of course that is still going to be there, or of course you're going to run into them, or of course you're going to whatever it is that you want. If you had the courage to let go of those thoughts, using what I've just spoken about a second ago, and actually maybe say, I'm going to run into him and it's going to be amazing, or I'm going to check my phone, there's going to be a text there. Even just the opposite of what it is that you are claiming negatively, and have the courage to trust in that, you will create those positive outcomes just the same way you so easily create the negatives. But so many people look at their limitations, look at this 3D reality as real, as that's it, it's game over, it's out there, therefore it's here to stay. It's only here to stay for as long as it's up here to stay. So if you want something different out there in this 3D reality, you must test the boundaries of your awareness and say, no, I don't accept that. That isn't true for me. Or whatever technique, whether it's breath work, the I am thing that I just spoken about, remove your awareness from the problem and place it on the solution. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. A little bit different. I very, very rarely, if ever really, I think I've done 2 videos in the past, quote Neville Goddard, and this time I'm actually reading it straight out of the book, so it's dead accurate to his words. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed me reading it and then me explaining it. I hope the method is useful for you. It's one that I've used plenty of times in the past, but I kind of got used to being able to just remove my awareness from it and kind of forgot about it as the years went on. But it's something that I might start trying myself again if I ever feel a little bit low or a little bit sort of too limited. But I really hope you've enjoyed this video, a little bit different. If you have, drop me a like and especially a comment to let me know, because I want to make sure that the content is exactly what you want it to be. So if you want more Neville Goddard stuff, or not more Florence Scovel or more Joseph Murphy or anybody else, please let me know. This is my channel to help you, so help me help you better. But if you're looking for one-to-one coaching to help you overcome the problem and the limitation and actually get on to the solution, down below in the comment section and the description is the link to my Linktree, where you can find the links to my website, where I offer amazing coaching solutions. If you want me as a bit of a helping hand on your shoulder, manifesting for you to give you an aid and help you not feel so alone in the process, top link in the description is the link to my assistant service. Grab that while you can. Tons of amazing success stories, which I'm constantly posting on my Instagram story. So if you're not following that, go check that out, Mind Over This Matrix. And finally, if you want more help from me, but not one-to-one coaching, I do have a monthly membership, which you can cancel at any time. And there's plenty of different tiers on there, all offering amazing value. So I highly recommend you go check that stuff out if you want the best chances to manifest your desires. But thank you so much for watching today. I look forward to your lovely feedback. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you lovely soldiers in the next one.